On this episode of Mothman in the Bible Belt, Richmond-based progressive hard rock band, the Conebuds, dish on the band's history, touring, and share music from their new record, Emergence. The rockers spill on their favorite opening acts, evolving sound, and playing Waynestock. The band also give their 2 cents on Daryl Hall slamming yacht rock and whether or not they'd ever cover Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club in concert. Coming up next.
Welcome to the Mothman in the Bible Belt podcast with your host, Buck Fantastic.
Girl Scout cookies.
The Conebuds are a Richmond, Virginia-based progressive hard rock band that formed at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The current Conebuds lineup consists of Jake Collin on guitar and vocals, Sean O'Neill on drums, John Cobble on bass, and Dave Birnbaum on guitar. Thus far, the band has released 2 records. Their second record, Emergence, dropped in May of this year. The band is currently playing festivals and shows up and down the East Coast. Join me, your host, Buck Fantastic, for an all-new exciting episode of Mothman in the Bible Belt. It's a eclectic chit-chat of otherworldly origins. Welcome, Jake, Sean, and John, the Conebuds. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing pretty good, man. We got a little bonus member too over here. His name's Dave.
Hi, Dave.
What's up?
Hi, Dave.
Where did you all get the band name, Jake?
So Sean and I were just sort of spitballing ideas, and we wanted to come up with something with a nature theme to it. We were talking about cone flowers a lot, and we just ended up on, I said cone buds, and he was like, oh, that's perfect, because it got some like weed connotations, and the word cone can be the Colin O'Neill experience, which is the 2 of us.
When did Conebuds form, Sean?
So Conebuds formed like back pretty much like in the beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. Jake and I were kind of in the, I guess, final chapters of another band we were in together and decided we wanted to kind of do our own thing and challenge ourselves a little more with the music. So we kind of met, I think it was like February 2020 when we kind of got together and we're like, hey, let's like start this new project and like do something with this. So that's about the time period that all kind of went down.
The Conebuds' first record, Evolution, came out in 2021. The new record, Emergence, dropped May of this year. Why did it take so long to record a follow-up record, Jake?
Well, so Sean and I did Evolution together, and shortly, actually right when it came out, we had just moved to Richmond, Virginia. So it took us a little while, just being the 2 of us, to find John eventually, who joined to play bass. It took us a while to actually like start getting the whole groove as a threesome and really get ready to play shows. That was sort of our focus in the early days, and then trying to figure out what our voice was moving on from there as we started getting like heavier, coming up with just pushing the boundary in that direction of heavier music into metal a little bit. I don't know, we just really took our time with that, and we're focusing on starting to make some fans and play shows.
On Emergence, you all get a little thrash metal on the track Amigo.
Ooh.
Was that a conscious move, John?
I would say we try and, I think we consider ourselves a little bit of a fusion band and try to incorporate different elements from a lot of our favorite genres. And sometimes it's more overt and sometimes it's more subtle. Sometimes it's in like a texture or rhythm, and sometimes it's in the writing structure.
Jeremy Simmons helped y'all produce the new record.
Uncle Jack.
Was it different working with him versus Jeff Covert?
For sure. Definitely. I mean, obviously, two different producers and engineers with definitely different styles, different gears. So the approach was definitely slightly different for Evolution versus Emergence. We knew though that kind of just coming in, as long as we were as prepared as possible to lay down our tracks, and it probably didn't really matter what studio environment we were getting ourselves into, as long as it was going to be a productive and I guess friendly one, because you always want to be in a safe space, or at least feel like it's a safe space when you're recording.
Absolutely.
The track Enough is a killer tune, and it's the standout track off the new record.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you sing I'll Never Know If I'm Enough for Anyone. Who inspired it?
I guess myself, just not being confident. This really just came from a moment of a lot of moments of self-doubt, honestly.
Real shit.
how did Grow Old come into being, Sean?
Grow Old. So I know with Grow Old, that was probably one of the first concepts or ideas, at least that main riff when the song starts, that we probably put together, and we were like, hey, this is probably something we're going to put on a new record. So it kind of just started as just like a little jam. I think Jake had a riff, and him and I kind of bounced off it a little bit, and then we kind of got John in the mix. And once we realized we kind of like had something that was feeling pretty good, sounding pretty good, we kind of just decided to commit to it, and we wrote to it, and it kind of turned into what it is now.
That might be a good time to talk about our process a little bit. We kind of decide that certain evenings, certain practices are going to be about rehearsal or going to be about songwriting. And so we record everything we do to, capture the moment and also sort of quality control. So we have a kind of a back catalog that we keep. So we have what would you say, 20, 30 ideas maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. So Grow Old is one of those things that we were just jamming on, and instead of hitting the back catalog, we ended up being kind of capturing our attention.
Front catalog. For sure.
So where did you all record Emergence at?
Here in Richmond at Elephant Ear Studios.
How long did it take to write the songs for Emergence?
It's a great question.
Yeah. So let's see. The first idea that ended up on Emergence was actually the verse riff of Onward, and that I came up with in the months between actually recording and releasing Evolution. So in a way, it took all 4 years between the two albums. Once we were like fully together as a band and focused on writing, I think it probably took like a year and a half to write all the songs. But that still was kind of like spread out among us focusing on touring, playing shows out.
Yeah, that's correct.
So what comes first, the lyrics or the music?
The music, almost always.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your first record, Evolution. How did the hypnotic rocker Hippo come about?
So that I think was like a challenge to just write a song that was entirely in 5/4. And to do that, I really just listened to a lot of Tool and absorbed as much as I could and came up with what I could. And then honestly, a lot of it was like bits recorded in a recording suite and then just like the pieces shuffled around until they made sense.
And then he threw it on me, and I had to learn the freaking part. Man, I was like, "Damn, Jake, what are you doing to me, man?" Because I mean, keep in mind, this was kind of at the beginning stages of our band. I mean, we didn't even really have a band name yet. I think when Jake and I were kind of working on these songs, especially Hippo. So coming out of what we were doing in our last band, writing in the odd times, doing like the heavier stuff like that was definitely not necessarily out of our comfort zone, but it was definitely a different approach for us. So when Jake threw that on me, I was like, damn, this sounds sick, but I got to definitely like take it up a notch with what I'm doing in order to match what's going on, because it was just that cool.
whisper into my brain. Give me clues as to whether or not I'm insane. Let me know when you find yourself to be the true evil. You know that we all see, 'cause you lie. Why do you lie? Why do you lie?
The Lost Temple, pushing 14 minutes.
Yep.
These epic, lengthy songs aren't as common as they once were, like in the 70s. Why is that?
That's a great question.
I think people just want short, listenable radio hits.
Yeah.
People are writing singles these days mostly, and they want something that people won't get bored of in the middle and turn off. People aren't writing for stoners.
And like that song is totally like, it's us basically like showing that we think the album format is definitely key, and it's honestly more important as far as dropping and releasing music as a body of work versus just doing like a single, because no one's going to release a 10+ minute single. That doesn't really happen. But to us, it's like that song kind of showcases how much effort we put into kind of creating a soundscape across the whole record. And that being the closing song off the first album was something that was basically trying to anchor that whole thing.
What musical influences help define the band's sound?
It's so vast. It's eclectic.
Yeah, very much so.
We're not very focused.
I know for me, like just drawing from my influences and on drums, it was definitely initially a lot of Zeppelin, definitely Tool. I'm obviously very big into Bonham and Danny Carey. So I tried to channel like the best combination of that. As it progressed for me, it got more into like more metal bands, heavier stuff like Pantera. So like I tried incorporating like elements like that. I think we all in general kind of listen to like a little bit of heavier music now these days.
Yeah, it's been evolving in that direction, going in the direction of like Between the Buried and Me and Gojira.
Yeah.
Where we started, I think, more with like the jam bands, the Fish, and Humphreys McGee, but with some like Tool tucked into it as well.
What are y'all's thoughts on modern progressive rock?
I think it's great, honestly. There's a lot of great bands out there doing a lot of cool things. I think for us, I know we internally really, really enjoy Animals as leaders. I mean, Matt Garsko on the drums is an absolute freak. And I mean, John, you love that band.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of view progressive, like some of my favorite progressive rock is kind of a mix, like a hybrid of jazz and metal, essentially. So I really like when they play with the rhythm, when they're progressive and that kind of element of rhythm. Progressive is such a hard term to pin down, but I like when they mess with rhythm.
What's the most exciting festival y'all have played to date?
Waynestock.
Definitely Waynestock, man, right in your home state of West Virginia.
I was going to ask you about it. When y'all came here and played that in 2023, did y'all get to take in any whitewater rafting?
I didn't.
We had the opportunity to do it. They were doing it like by groups. So I think we were kind of just preoccupied with already what we were doing just as a band and kind of just going off exploring ourselves.
We spent too much time doing little hikes and going fishing.
Yeah.
Y'all come to West Virginia a lot?
Now and then. I mean, I've been back for Waynestock. It's a great festival.
Who's been your favorite opening acts so far?
Well, that's a great question.
I'm the Liquor.
Yeah, no,
They're a Richmond band. They're great.
we definitely love playing with I Am the Liquor. They're like a local stoner rock metal band that we've enjoyed kind of co-billing with.
A band called Razor Beast in Boone, North Carolina that kicks ass.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, that's probably I Am the Liquor is probably my favorite.
When y'all are traveling for shows, do y'all go out in a camper or do y'all do a Volkswagen or?
We got the band van. Her name is
Beloved
Elodie.
1992 Chevrolet G20. Oh. Love it.
Yeah, I mean it's honestly it's the perfect van to kind of do like these regional tours with. It's got all the seating, it's got plenty of space for the gear. It's pretty comfortable.
Does it got air conditioning?
Nope.
Maybe.
Well, it does, but it's broken.
Ooh.
Well, we got windows that roll
We make
down.
it work.
Yeah. It's a little hot in the summer.
So what's the best remedy for writer's block, Jake, when you get it?
I think he does.
Oh, for me, I just, if I can't figure out what to do with an idea, I just save it for later and I throw it at the boys and make them figure it out for me. So collaboration, I would say.
Is there a ton of rock music venues to play in Richmond?
Oh, yeah. It's a great music scene.
Yeah, great music scene.
I would say at least, 20, 30 venues that are pretty dedicated to live music.
For sure. And that's not counting like the countless breweries and bars that also host bands. And
There's the surrounding counties, too. It's not just the city of Richmond specifically.
Daryl Hall recently proclaimed yacht rock is a fucking joke. What say you, Sean?
yacht rock, I mean, yacht rock is essentially like chill classic rock. I mean, whenever I find a yacht rock playlist on Spotify, that's what's on. And you know what? I like a lot of the songs on that playlist. So like yacht rock or not, I enjoy it.
What new music are you all currently listening to at the moment?
I know I've been checking out a lot of to these newer hardcore bands coming out. I know Turnstile just dropped a couple new singles that I've been listening to. Obviously, checking out our own record, Emergence, which just came out a few weeks ago. Y'all got to definitely listen to that. It's probably a highlight for me. I do listen to rap music too, and I do enjoy Wiz Khalifa. He just dropped Cushion Orange Juice too. That's definitely been in my rotation. So, anyone else?
I've been listening to like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, so not much new. The new Opeth album's pretty dope. That's like a year old now, though.
I was gonna say Opeth. Aiken just put out a live album from their London show. That's an amazing concert.
Do y'all have any summer, early fall dates lined up yet?
So far, we have in Waynestock, late June.
It's it's June 19th through the 22nd is the weekend of the festival, and then we have some DC dates that we're working on here for July. It's like Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland.
So do y'all have like regular 9-to-5s, or is music completely your life and livelihoods?
We all have the 9-to-5s, Buck.
We work, but I would say music is definitely it's our livelihood, as in we
Our emotional
enjoy it.
livelihood.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely keeps it going to a certain extent. Not financially, but
Do y'all have a name for your fans?
buds.
Yeah,
Well, the buds are kind of us, but like other people can be buds too.
we're all buds.
Bud fan.
Buds, man. Hey, Buck, you want to be a bud?
Okay. I'll be a groupie. I'll be the groupie.
Yeah.
When are y'all going to cover Pink Pony Club?
Pink
What is
Pony
that?
Club.
The Chaplain Chaperone song. We'll do a regular Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
Oh, that
As
song.
long as we can do like a metal version.
No, that has a lot of significance for us here in West Virginia. We actually had a Pink Pony Club in Cross Lanes. That was our Pink Pony Club. So when I hear it, I bust out laughing because it's funny as hell. We don't have a lot of strip joints anymore in the Kanawha Valley, which for many I'm sure is sad.
We'll work on it for you, Buck.
Do y'all sell physical releases at your events?
Ooh, we're about to release the vinyl. We don't have an exact date, but probably June or July.
Yeah, for Emergence.
Mhm.
Coming out on limited pressing of vinyl.
How
So-
much does it cost to press vinyl nowadays?
It's like 20 something hundred for 200 count.
Yeah,
It gets
it's
cheaper as you go up and more expensive as you go leaner.
it's definitely the less you buy, it's definitely not as cost effective, but the more you order, it definitely, the numbers start looking a little more friendly as far as your margins go.
Now it's time for 5 questions. Who wants to take it?
Hello, here.
Okay. Best progressive rock, Rush or Yes?
Rush for sure.
Virginia's favorite musical daughter, Missy Misdemeanor Elliott or Amy Mann?
Yo, Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. I've never heard that, but definitely that. That's funny as shit.
Virginia's favorite musical son, Bruce Hornsby or Ricky Van Shelton?
Probably Bruce.
Best horror franchise, A Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, man. You could go to your
Elm
place.
Street.
Yeah, I'd probably say Nightmare.
Best pre-concert ritual, group prayer or taking a dump?
How about taking a prayer while taking a dump?
Works for me.
So, I mean, sometimes you need to put them hands together and pray when you're doing that. It'd be like that sometimes.
The Conebuds will be playing Waynestock at the New River Gorge in Fayetteville on Saturday, June 21st at 5:30 p.m. Waynestock runs from June 19th to June 22nd. To find out who else is playing Waynestock, please visit www.waynestock.com. I want to thank my special guests, the Conebuds. You can find them on the web at www.conebuds.com. You can purchase their music on Bandcamp, iTunes, and Amazon Music. For Mothman of the Bible Belt podcast outlet updates, guest bios, episode breakdowns, and links to social media, please check us out on the web at www.mothmanofthebiblebelt.com. Thanks for listening.